done for you. And so along the topics of generosity, that's really just what I wanted to hit tonight. Being raised in West Michigan, I was fortunate enough, as many of you were, to observe faithful givers everywhere I turned. Growing up, my dad had the opportunity to come alongside someone who had come into some wealth really unexpectedly and was a new Christian and didn't know what to do with the wealth. And so he asked if my dad could help, and my dad said, well, first things first, if we start a foundation, what would be the mission statement? What's the focus? What are you really trying to do with your generosity? And my dad thought he was going to have to coach him through this, and the man looked back at him and said, Don, I want to put the generosity of God on display for all to see. And my dad said, that's pretty good, we're going to go with that statement. And so I watched him, and I watched his example of his generosity. And then in high school, was when I was first exposed to Gary Haugen and International Justice Mission. And Gary came to speak at Central Westland, just down the street from where we live. And my dad said, you know, Kirk, it was an Sunday evening service. And he said, I know we don't normally go to Sunday evening service here, but I would encourage you to go to this one. And he didn't really tell me much more. I didn't know what I was walking into, but I went over and listened to Gary Haugen tell the story of IJM and what they do, and how I was not aware of all the atrocities that go on in other places of the world. And Gary explained how they have freed people from slavery and created transformation and brought light to darkness. And I was blown away. And the thought that hit me, for whatever reason, as a 15, 16-year-old high schooler at Holland Christian, as I left that night, it really wasn't, oh, I can't wait to go get a law degree and join Gary in prosecuting people who deserve to be brought to justice. That really wasn't my thought. It wasn't, I can't wait to get on the next plane to the Philippines and serve. I felt like Gary has that. Gary knows what he's doing. He has people in place. What he needs is money to do it faster and to do it more often and impact more people. That's what he needs. And so for whatever reason, as a 15, 16-year-old, my heart walking away from that night was, Lord, give me more to steward someday so I can help that man. And that was just an innocent thought. But that was the prayer. And then I go to Holland Christian, and the school itself, I watched community people give to make that school what it was and what it is. It couldn't be at the level of excellence that it is if not for so many givers generously contributing to make it happen. I think of the football program at Holland Christian. When I moved in 2001 from Chicago to Holland, they had only had a football program for 2 years. And the only reason there was a football program were generous givers who stepped up and said, there should be a football program and we'll write the check to make it happen. And so I was the direct beneficiary of that. And